You're going to the facility whether you want to or not." Marcus said those words while standing near the dining room window, arms crossed as if he was waiting for me to cry, beg, or fall at his feet. But I did nothing. I just looked at him. This was my son, the same child I carried in my arms, the same boy I stayed awake for when he had asthma attacks, the same boy I fed even when I had to sleep hungry myself. And now he was looking at me like I was a burden. He said he couldn't keep supporting me anymore. His wife was tired. I was making life difficult. The assisted living facility had an opening, and in 2 days, everything would be handled. 2 days. That was all I was worth to him. I didn't answer, not because I had nothing to say, but because if I opened my mouth, my heart would break right there in front of him. So I walked into the kitchen, made myself coffee, and sat quietly at the table. My hands were shaking, not from fear, but from the strength it took not to cry. That night, I went to my room, closed the door, and sat on the edge of my bed. And in that silence, I made a decision. If anyone was going to decide what happened to my life, it was going to be me. Marcus had forgotten one important thing. This house was not his, it was mine. I had worked 30 years to pay for every brick, every window, every flower in the yard. I had built this home with my husband Robert before he died. Every corner had a memory. Every wall had a piece of my life inside it. But Marcus didn't see a home. He saw an inheritance. For months, he had been pressuring me to sell it, sign papers, and transfer things into his name. "Mom, it's for your own good," he would say. But I knew the truth. It was for his good, not mine. The next morning, after he left, I opened my closet and pulled out a small wooden box. Inside were the house deed, my will, savings, old letters, and important documents. I touched the papers and smiled for the first time in days. He thought I was weak. He thought I was just an old woman who cooked, cleaned, and stayed quiet. But he had no idea who I really was. A few days later, I went to see Evelyn Reed, a retired notary I knew from town. I asked her about my rights, my property, and what could be done if someone tried to force me to sign anything. She looked at me carefully and said, "Thelma, if you haven't signed, he has no power over this house." Those words gave me strength. From that day on, I started preparing quietly. I copied documents. I changed passwords. I opened a new bank account. I sold a few old valuables Marcus would never notice, some jewelry, silverware, and antiques. Every small step felt like I was taking my life back. But Marcus started getting suspicious. He came into my room without knocking. He looked through drawers, asked strange questions, and watched me like I was hiding something. And I was hiding my freedom. One afternoon, I went to see Serena, my kind neighbor down the street. She had always treated me with warmth. When she opened the door, I simply said, "I need to talk. I don't know who else to turn to." She let me in without asking anything. And for the first time in years, I told someone everything. The threats, the pressure, the insults, the way Marcus treated me like I was already dead. Serena held my hand and said, "You are not alone, and you don't have to give your life to someone who doesn't value it." That sentence changed something inside me. A plan was made. Serena would drive me away. Her cousin had a quiet place in another town where I could stay for a while. I packed only one suitcase. Before leaving, I placed a letter on the dining table. It said, "Marcos, this house is not yours. I have signed nothing. You no longer have my permission, and you no longer have my silence. Everything you destroyed in this home cannot be fixed with new walls. A mother's presence is worth more than any money." I did not write "with love." I simply signed my name, Thelma Price. When Serena arrived, I walked out the back door, got into her car, and did not look back. For the first time in years, I felt the air enter my lungs without pain. Freedom. That evening, Marcus returned home. At first, he noticed nothing. Then he called my name. Once, twice. No answer. He went upstairs and found my room empty. Not messy, not destroyed, just empty. Then he saw the letter. He read it, and his face changed from confusion to anger, then to fear. He tore the paper apart and shouted at a woman who was no longer there to hear him. Then he checked the drawers. The documents were gone. The deed was gone. The savings were gone. And for the first time in his life, Marcus realized he had lost control. He called my phone again and again, but my number was no longer available. He went to the attorney and demanded answers. The attorney told him clearly, "The house is still in your mother's name. Without her signature, you have no legal right to it." That broke him, not because he loved me, but because he had underestimated me. Days passed. The house became cold. Dust settled. There was no coffee in the morning, no dinner on the table, no clean shirts waiting for him. For years he thought I was nothing. Then he realized I had been everything. Meanwhile, I started over. Serena helped me settle into a small, quiet house. It wasn't luxurious, but it was peaceful. No shouting, no footsteps in the hallway, no one calling me a burden. At first, I didn't know how to live without fear. I woke up at night expecting Marcus's voice. I looked over my shoulder in Marcus. I forgot how to smile, but slowly I began to return to myself. I planted flowers. I drank coffee in the morning. I walked outside without asking permission. And one day, while watering a small ivy plant near the window, I found myself humming. That was when I knew I was healing. Later, I sold the old house, the house Marcus wanted so badly, the house he thought would become his prize. I sold it completely, legally, and without regret. When Marcus found out, they told me he went there shouting my name like a child whose toy had been taken away. But it was too late. The new owners had already moved in. The walls were painted. The furniture was gone. There was no trace of me left. And that was the real lesson. A mother is not furniture. A mother is not an inheritance. A mother is not someone you can throw away and still expect to receive blessings from. Months later, Marcus sent me a letter. It was not a real apology. It was full of excuses. He wrote, "We could have talked, but we had talked for years." He just never listened. So I burned that letter in the sink and watched the ashes disappear. I owed him nothing anymore. One evening, I wrote my own letter, but I never sent it. I wrote, "Marcus, you were not born bad. You were born mine, and that is what hurt the most. I loved you with everything I had, but you treated me like a burden. You wanted to lock me away and take what was mine. So I chose myself. You will receive nothing from me except one lesson. No money can replace a living mother." I buried that letter in the garden, not because I wanted to hide it, but because I was finally bearing the pain I had carried for too long. Today, I am not rich. I am not famous. I am simply free. I eat slowly. I sleep peacefully. I dance when music plays. I look in the mirror and see not just a mother, but a woman who survived, a woman who chose herself, a woman who learned that love, when begged for, becomes a prison, and peace is worth more than any house. Marcus wanted to send me to a facility. Instead, he sent me toward freedom. My name is Thelma Price. I was a mother. I am still a woman. And now, finally, I belong to myself. If this story touched your heart, write 1 in the comments. And remember, never take a mother's silence for weakness.